Have you ever wondered why Japan has one of the highest life expectancies on the planet? Why their cities stay spotless? Why so many people there seem calm, focused, and clear about what they're doing? It isn't genetics. It isn't luck. It's habits. Small habits that almost everyone else overlooks. Habits so tiny, they look like they couldn't possibly matter. And that's exactly why they work. Today I'm going to walk you through 8 tiny Japanese habits that quietly reshape your health, your focus, and your life. Not through some dramatic overnight transformation, but through the kind of slow, lasting change that builds up over years. None of these are complicated. None of them eat up your day. They're small, almost effortless actions. But do them consistently, and they change everything. There's a saying in Japan, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. But there's another side to that idea. When everyone moves in harmony, the whole society rises. So let's look at what that actually looks like in daily life. The first habit is called kaizen, and it might be the most useful concept you'll ever pick up. Kaizen means continuous improvement. Not the kind where you overhaul your entire life on January 1st and burn out by February. The opposite. It's about improvements so small they're almost invisible. 1% better every day. That's it. In Japanese companies, this idea is everywhere. Toyota became one of the most successful car makers in the world because of kaizen. Not by making huge changes, but by asking every worker, every day, to find one tiny thing to improve. A step that could be 1 second faster. A tool that could sit 2 inches closer. A motion that could be cut out entirely. It sounds like nothing, but do that every single day for years, and the compounding is staggering. And this doesn't just work in factories. It works in your life. Want to get in shape? Don't commit to an hour at the gym. Do 1 push-up. Just 1. That's so easy you can't talk yourself out of it. And once you've done 1, you'll probably do 5. Then 10. And before long, it's a habit. Want to read more? Don't force an hour. Read 1 page. 1 page is nothing. But 1 page a day is 365 pages a year, more than most people read in 5 years. Kaizen removes the friction. It makes progress so small, you barely notice it, until the results become impossible to ignore. The goal was never to transform overnight. The goal is to never stop moving forward. Which brings us to the second habit. Ikigai. Ikigai is your reason for being, the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning. Not your job, not your obligations. The thing that actually gives your life meaning. In Okinawa, one of the blue zones where people routinely live past 100, almost everyone can tell you their ikigai. And researchers believe that sense of purpose is one of the biggest reasons they live so long. Here's why. When you have a reason to wake up, your body wants to keep going. When life feels pointless, your health slips, your energy drops, you age faster. Ikigai isn't about grand ambition. It's not about changing the world or getting famous. It can be as simple as tending a garden, teaching a skill, spending time with your grandkids, making something with your hands. What matters is that it's yours, not what society told you to care about, but what genuinely makes you feel alive. And there's a framework the Japanese use to find it. Ikigai sits where 4 things overlap: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Find something that hits all 4, and that's your ikigai. Live by it, and the rest tends to fall into place. But most people never actually sit down and ask. They just drift. They do what they're supposed to do. And then they wonder why life feels empty. So pause. Ask yourself, what do I love? What am I good at? What does the world need from me? And how could I support myself doing it? You don't need all the answers today, but start asking the questions, and the answers start showing up. The third habit is hara hachi bu, and it's one of the simplest ways to live longer. Hara hachi bu means eat until you're 80% full. Not stuffed, not even completely satisfied, just 80%. In Okinawa, people say this before meals. It's a tiny reminder, a small moment of awareness, and it keeps them from overeating. Here's the problem it solves. Your brain takes about 20 minutes to register that you're full. So if you eat until you feel full, you've already overshot. You've taken in more than your body needed, and over time, that extra 20% adds up. Weight gain, sluggishness, inflammation, all the things that speed up aging. Stop at 80% and you give your body exactly what it needs and nothing more. That slight calorie reduction has been shown to extend lifespan in nearly every species studied. This isn't about starving yourself. It's about eating slowly, paying attention, putting your fork down between bites, and asking, am I actually still hungry? Or am I just eating because the food is in front of me? Most people eat on autopilot. They finish what's on the plate because that's the habit. But your plate has no idea how much your body needs. So next time, try this. Halfway through the meal, stop. Check in. Ask yourself, could I stop here and feel fine? If yes, stop. If not, keep going, but slowly. It's not restriction, it's awareness. And that small shift might be the easiest health habit you ever pick up. The fourth habit is Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing. This isn't exercise, it isn't a hike. It's simply being in nature, walking slowly, breathing deeply, noticing what's around you. In Japan, doctors actually prescribe this. They'll tell patients to spend time in the forest, not as a figure of speech, as medicine. And the science holds up. Time in nature lowers your cortisol, drops your blood pressure, strengthens your immune system, even lifts your mood. Something about being surrounded by trees resets your nervous system. Researchers think it comes down to phytoncides, compounds trees release to protect themselves from insects. Breathe them in and your body responds. Stress hormones fall. Your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. You shift out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. And here's the practical part. You don't need a forest. You don't need to live in Japan. You need trees, a park, a trail, even a tree-lined street. The key is to go without distractions. No phone, no podcast, no goal. Just walk slowly and pay attention. The light coming through the leaves, the sound of the wind, the smell of the ground. Let your mind wander. This isn't wasted time. This is recovery. And in a world that's constantly pulling at your attention, this might be the most important hour of your week. The fifth habit is wabi-sabi, and it's a mindset that changes how you see everything. Wabi-sabi is the acceptance of imperfection, the beauty in things that are impermanent, incomplete, and flawed. In the West, we're obsessed with perfection, flawless skin, perfect bodies, spotless homes, curated feeds. But that chase is exhausting, and it's built on a lie, because nothing is perfect. Nothing lasts forever. and nothing is ever truly finished. Wabi-sabi says that's fine. In fact, that's where the beauty lives. A cracked teacup isn't broken, it's lived in. A weathered wooden table isn't old, it's full of history. A line on your face isn't a flaw, it's a map of your life. When you embrace wabi-sabi, you stop chasing the impossible. You stop measuring yourself against airbrushed images. You stop feeling like you're not enough. Instead, you start appreciating what's right in front of you, exactly as it is. And that shift is freeing, because suddenly you don't have to fix everything. You don't have to be more, do more, have more. You can just be. This isn't giving up. It's accepting that progress is messy and life is imperfect. And that's not a problem. That's the point. So next time you notice something imperfect in your life, pause, and instead of seeing it as something to fix, ask, what's beautiful about this? That crack in the wall, that scar on your hand, that mistake from last week. Those aren't flaws, they're proof you're living. The sixth habit is gaman, and it's one of the most misunderstood ideas in Japanese culture. Gaman means endurance with dignity, the ability to bear difficulty without complaint, to push through hardship without falling apart. Now in the West, that might sound like toxic positivity. Just suck it up and don't feel your feelings. But that's not what gaman is. Gaman isn't about denying your pain. It's about not letting your pain run you. It's the quiet strength that says, this is hard, but I can handle it. I don't need to broadcast my struggle. I don't need validation. I just need to keep going. And there's real power in that. Because when you stop complaining, you stop reinforcing the story that you're a victim. You stop feeding the idea that life is just happening to you. Instead, you take responsibility. You accept that difficulty is part of life, and you choose how you respond. This doesn't mean suffering in silence. It means you don't let the suffering define you. And in a world where everyone is constantly posting their struggles, hunting for sympathy and likes, gaman is a reminder you don't need an audience to be strong. You just need to show up. The seventh habit is omoiyari, compassionate consideration. Omoiyari is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to anticipate what they need before they ask, to act with kindness, not because you have to, but because you're actually thinking about how your actions land on other people. In Japan, this is everywhere. People keep their voices down on trains so they don't disturb anyone. They clean up after themselves in public. They bow when they greet you, not out of submission, but out of respect. It's a society built on the idea that we're all connected, that your actions ripple outward, that when you make life easier for others, life gets easier for everyone. And this isn't just polite, it's practical. When everyone practices omoiyari, trust goes up, stress goes down, and society runs more smoothly. But more than that, it makes you happier. Because when you shift your focus from yourself to the people around you, your own problems shrink, your perspective widens, and you feel more connected to the world. So try this. Before you do something, pause and ask, how will this affect the people around me? Is the music too loud? Are you standing in someone's way while you're on the phone? Is the space cleaner than when you walked in? These tiny acts of consideration cost you nothing, but they set off a ripple that changes everything. The eighth and final habit is kintsugi, the art of repairing broken things with gold. When a bowl or a vase breaks in Japan, They don't throw it out. They repair it. But instead of hiding the cracks, they fill them with gold. And the piece ends up more beautiful than it was before. Kintsugi is a metaphor for your life. You will break. You will fail. You will get hurt. But that doesn't make you worthless. It makes you real. And when you repair yourself, when you put the pieces back together, those cracks become part of your story. They're not something to hide. They're something to honor. Because the strongest people aren't the ones who never broke. They're the ones who broke, rebuilt themselves, and carry that gold with them. So if you're going through something hard right now, remember this. You're not damaged. You're being transformed. And the version of you that comes out the other side will be stronger, wiser, and more whole than before. Don't hide your scars. Let them shine. So here's what to hold on to. These 8 habits aren't quick fixes. They're not life hacks. They're principles. And principles take time. Kaizen shows you that small improvements compound into massive results. Ikigai gives you a reason to keep going. Hara-Hachi-Bu protects your health with one simple rule. Shinrin-Yoku restores your mind in minutes. Wabi-Sabi frees you from the trap of perfection. Gammon builds your resilience quietly. Omoyari connects you to others through small acts. And Kintsugi reminds you that breaking isn't the end. You don't have to adopt all 8 at once. Pick one. Start tiny. Let it become part of who you are, and then add another. Because the Japanese don't chase transformation. They build it, one tiny choice at a time, one small habit at a time. And over a lifetime, those tiny habits create enormous differences. A life that's calm, purposeful, and genuinely fulfilling. Not because it's perfect, but because it's intentional. If this changed how you think about habits, hit subscribe. Because the secret to massive change isn't doing more. It's doing tiny things consistently, quietly, without needing the world to notice. And that's worth far more than any overnight transformation ever could be.